What's good, peeps? What is good? All right. Firstly, thank you so much for all the birthday messages. It was my birthday yesterday. The big 40 people. I am 40 years old. I don't know how that's happened. Honestly, I don't know how that has happened. But yes, I am 40. So thank you so much to everyone that sent me DMs and reached out to me on Twitter. I really do appreciate it. It does suck that we are in lockdown mode and I couldn't do what I really wanted to do, which is either go on holiday or, I don't know, go and get absolutely hammered at a bar somewhere. But we are coming out of it soon, so I will definitely be celebrating this 40th birthday again. No doubt about it. Second thing, we are doing a live watch along tomorrow for Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin 2. We'll start the usual time, 8:30, but I will put it on the community tab, so just look out for it. Always fun. The last live was really good. The last two lives are really, really good. I mean, we even started talking about best movies, best TV series, and I actually found it quite fun. So yeah, make sure you tell a friend, make sure you tune in 8 o'clock or 8:30, but it will be on the community tab. All right, let's talk about Dillian Whyte versus Povetkin, or should I say Povetkin versus Dillian Whyte. The rematch. I've literally just finished watching the first fight again, just to remind myself of how that fight played out, because the narrative is Dillian Whyte was winning the fight and then Povetkin just landed, not a lucky punch, but a big punch, right? So that's the narrative. The truth is, it's actually a decent little scrap. Now, Dillian Whyte was getting the better of it, no doubt, right? Dillian Whyte's jab. Dillian Whyte's got really long levers, by the way. Like got really, really long levers. I've always known that he had like long hands, but I think they're deceptively long because of his build. But yeah, Dillian Whyte was landing some good jabs, landing some good body work as well. Povetkin was landing his stuff as well. Listening back to Matthew Macklin and Adam Smith's commentary, it was so biased towards Dillian Whyte. Povetkin was doing some good work. He was landing some good shots as well. He was going right and left to the body. He was going upstairs a lot as well. So he was doing his own stuff. He had Dillian Whyte a bit. He definitely didn't hurt Dillian Whyte, but he definitely made Dillian Whyte stumble backwards in the second round. Again, I forgot all these things only because I've watched it now. But Dillian Whyte obviously landed, I think it was a left hook to put him down. It was almost like a flash knockdown, the first one, but the second one, a little uppercut, was definitely a good knockdown. And then obviously Povetkin landed that unbelievably good punch at the start of the fifth round. So beautiful. I was speaking to Tom Gray, managing editor of The Ring magazine, 2 days ago. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago, about it. And he was like, it's one of the best punches he's ever seen. That's what he said. Because I was sad and I thought, is that a bit of hyperbole from me? But it's true. It's so good. But yeah, the fight wasn't as one-way traffic as maybe we're led to believe. A lot of people are saying they're picking Dillian Whyte because Dillian Whyte was winning the first fight, and really that's kind of how it was going to play out until the knockdown. He was winning the first fight, yes, but it doesn't mean Povetkin wasn't doing some good work in that first fight. Povetkin was really doing some good body work, especially. So was Dillian Whyte as well, but Dillian Whyte was definitely winning that fight based on his jab. His jab was the key weapon. I think it's going to be the key weapon in this rematch as well. The weigh-ins have just happened. Dillian Whyte is a bit lighter. Povetkin is a bit heavier than their first fight. So Dillian Whyte's lost some weight. Since then, it could be the case of, obviously he's been training in Portugal, really hot weather. He's been training literally for a couple of camps, hasn't he, in the lead up to this. So that made sense, I think. Povetkin maybe hasn't been training as much because he's been obviously recovering from COVID. So I wasn't surprised by that at all. This is literally, and it's been billed as, and you can understand why Eddie Hearn has billed it as this, do or die for Dillian Whyte. Now, I don't like that narrative because I think there are so many other good fights from the heavyweight division. But in terms of him getting a world title shot, in terms of him staying as a pay-per-view attraction, although me and Rob Tebbett spoke the other day on his Boxing Social podcast, and he was like, even if Dillian Whyte loses, he does fight Chisora again, it's pay-per-view. Not for me. If Dillian Whyte loses, his next fight isn't on pay-per-view. His next 2 or 3 fights might not be on pay-per-view. That's how important it is. So forget the fact of him getting a world title shot, which is far away anyway because of the hold-up that AJ and Fury could have on the division. Him just, in terms of his check being cut in half if he loses, is literally what's waiting for him if he does get beat by Povetkin again. That's what's waiting. Dillian Whyte needs to I don't know if you guys remember the first Chisora Whyte fight. Very aggressive, like literally, it was war. The second time round, Dillian Whyte clearly learnt a lot from the first. Second, he's not engaging in it. He's not engaging, he's fighting on the back foot, he's comfortable on the ropes. Even though Chisora unbelievably was ahead in the scorecards, Dillian Whyte for me was winning that fight comfortably, if I'm honest with you. I thought it was a very, very good performance. Dillian Whyte, I think, has got to do that in this fight. I don't think he needs to engage with Povetkin. I think if he can just use his jab, which he was doing in the first fight, use that jab, double up on that jab, sit on the ropes if need be, land some stingy shots. He doesn't need to get involved in a war. He doesn't. He doesn't. Honestly, he doesn't need. Some people might say, yeah, and I was kind of saying this before, like maybe we should let Dillian Whyte off the leash. No, having watched this fight again, Dillian Whyte just needs to box carefully to a boring 12-round decision, and that doesn't excite me. I hope it doesn't happen. But if I'm a Dillian Whyte, that's what I do. The last thing I want to do is engage in a war with Povetkin. Povetkin hits like a fucking truck. He honestly hits like a truck. I went back and watched Povetkin versus David Price. I know it's only David Price. Povetkin hits like, go and watch Povetkin Carlos Takam. It's brutal, brutal. Don't get involved with this kid. Literally, box on the outside. If you do need to, if he does get in close, do what Lawrence Okoli does, hold. That's all he needs to do. Yes, he can throw his hooks and the wings. The thing about Dillian Whyte, and again, go back and watch the fight. When Dillian Whyte gets aggressive and he throws aggressive, he's all over the place. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but his chin's there to get hit. When he throws and he kind of goes in swinging, so when he throws his 3-4 punch combinations, it's not smooth. It's very much like just, you guys know what I'm getting at, right? It's not smooth. And that's when I think he can get countered and get caught. And every fight I've seen where Dillian Whyte gets caught is because he tries to engage. If Dillian Whyte boxes on the back foot, uses his jab, uses that long reach he's got, and when Povetkin does get in close, tie him up, he can make this very easy. He can make it very easy. If Dillian Whyte lets Povetkin get on the inside like he did to put him down, this could be one hell of a long night. And another thing that scares me about Dillian Whyte when it comes to engaging, I don't know if he's got the punch resistance anymore. Don't know if he's got that. I mean, don't get me wrong, that knockout would have put most heavyweights down, if not all of them. But my fear for Dillian Whyte is, I mean, you don't recover from those knockouts, by the way. You recover in the sense that, what I mean by that is it chips a bit at, you're chipping off all the time. Every time you get hit like that, it's chipping off that punch resistance. And Dillian Whyte has been in tough fights, and each time we're chipping away at that punch resistance to the point where there is no resistance. There is no resistance at all. And I fear for him. I fear for him. If he gets tagged in this fight, then, boy. Yeah. I'm waffling a bit, I do apologise, peeps. I think, repeat or revenge, I don't know, That's why I can't wait to tune in for this one. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going for revenge, but I wouldn't put a pound on it. No, wouldn't put a pound on it at all. He cannot engage with this kid. He engages, he can get knocked out again. He can. Povetkin knows he can knock him out. Like, Dillian Whyte's first knockdown with Povetkin was a flash one. The second one was a good knockdown. Dillian Whyte got put down hard. Hard. Don't know if you recover from those, man. I do think the layoffs helped him. I do think the idea of him wanting to go back in there, I think it was, 7 or 8 weeks after the first fight, was stupid. Then there was a talk about a January fight, which would have been okay. This fight, though, this time now, I think it's perfect for him. He should have recovered. I hope he's not burnt himself out, because we know he likes to train a lot. I just hope that he's learned a few new things with his training team that he can implement in this one. The first thing is box boring. Sometimes you've got to box boring, my man. And he cannot engage. He engages with all of his opponents. Oscar Rivas, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora, Helenius, Marius Vac. Sometimes this kid needs to know how to box and stay away from trouble. But we'll see, right? We'll see. I want to quickly give my predictions for, and look, don't go with my predictions, by the way. My predictions are shocking. So no one even try and put money on what I'm going to say right now. For the rest of the card, quickly. So good to see Campbell Hatton. Obviously, look, he's not exactly fighting anyone of note, but it's good to see him fight, right? The idea, I think, would be to get him as many fights as possible. Like, by the end of the year, if this kid could have had six fights, possibly, then that's good. And then you start the next year, maybe looking for an area title or something. I mean, that's, there's no point, like, taking it easy with him. If he's good, then let's move him. Yusuf Kamari will beat Kane Baker. But Kane Baker does come to fight. It's an opportunity for him, but he will beat him. Eric Pfeiffer, I think, will beat Nick Webb. Fabio Wardley, Molina. I saw something crazy with these odds for Wardley. Wardley was like something like 1 to 40. Molina was like 14 to 1. Something was stupid anyway like that. I mean, I think Fabio Wardley's going to win, but again, the last person to beat Molina, albeit a very long time ago, sorry, was Hrgovic. Fabio Wardley's good. Obviously, we ain't no Hrgovic. Chris Congo, Michael Mickinson. I'm going for Congo. Points. Tough fight for him, though. Cheeseman, James Metcalf. I think Metcalf will get the win, but it won't be without problems because he's not been as active. Cheeseman, I kind of know where he is just from that Sergio Garcia fight and the Scott Fitzgerald. It's Scott Fitzgerald, isn't it? Yeah. Scott Fitzgerald fight. I still can't believe Cheeseman's only 25, by the way. And Povetkin, Dylan Whyte. I'm going Dylan Whyte, but I could change my mind tomorrow. Really could. The location for this fight looks incredible, by the way. Doesn't it? It looks really good in Gibraltar. All right, let's have a look at any news before we pack up. It's weird. I kind of just gave how I think Dylan Whyte needs to win, which is usually jab fight on the back foot, not a problem. For Povetkin, Povetkin needs to make this as aggressive as possible. Even in the first fight, Povetkin's on the front foot, Like, he's literally takes center of the ring on the front foot, and he literally, I keep saying that word, he has a plan of going to the body, because he goes to the body a lot. And I think he surprised Whyte a few times by Whyte thinking he's going to go to the body, and then obviously threw that uppercut. So I think Povetkin just needs to mix it up and surprise Whyte. Don't just come forward like a bull all the time. Literally try and mix it up a bit, and I think Povetkin will do that. Like, Adam Smith gave Povetkin no credit for Povetkin mixing it up in that fight. Povetkin was mixing up, but he kept on saying, oh, Dylan Whyte is. Povetkin was doing his own work as well. All right, by the way, we obviously laugh at the pay-per-view cost in the UK. I mean, Ruiz, Arreola, pay-per-view in America with a horrendous undercard. What was it, $50 for Ruiz, Arreola? Ruiz coming off a loss. And Arreola, who I actually like or used to like as a fighter, I'm sure he's lost 4 of his last 7 or something. Let's have a look. So he lost his last fight to Kalnaki. Before that, he beat Jean Augustin. I remember actually after the Kalnaki fight, I'm sure that was it. He retired. Deontay Wilder. But fucking hell, my God. He's had 4 fights in 5 years, Arreola. Lost 2 of those 4. Anyway, yeah, so that's on pay-per-view in America. We move on quickly. Jamal Charlo, where the F is GGG. If I can't get Canelo, at least I can get the GGG, right? What about Benavidez? Well, that seems to have gone all quiet. I'm pretty sure he called out Benavidez. Benavidez's dad, who I think also represents him, reached out to Charlo and said, we'll take the fight. Let's do this. And now he's talking about GGG Canelo. Fight Benavidez. I want to fight Benavidez. That'd be a good fight. Do that. Go up. I dare you. Go up to 168 and fight David Benavidez. That would be a good fight for both. What else have we got here? Marius Bradis reacts to Lawrence Okole's win, open to fighting him. I don't think they're going to go that route. I know Lawrence, I spoke to Lawrence on Monday. He wants that fight. That it wasn't a joke. They weren't just calling him out for publicity. Or they want the fight. He wants to fight the best in the division. Bradis is that best. But let's calm down a little bit. Let's go to the Makabu route. I think that's a winnable fight. Makabu would travel over here as well. The problem about the Bradis fight is, unless it goes on the undercard or something massive, I think it's too big for your Saturday night fight card. And I'm just talking from a financial aspect here, not from what I want. But it's not big enough as a pay-per-view event. That's the issue of it. So if I'm a Coley and I'm trying to build myself, you know, have a mandatory, have a voluntary, get Makabu in the ring. I can't remember the other champion, I think the French guy. And then you and Bradis have a unification fight next year, which will then be possibly a pay-per-view because you keep building yourself. That's what I think you should do. Well done to IFL as well, by the way. They are streaming Jamal Herring versus Carl Frampton. Like it's going on IFL TV. Coogan is doing crazy stuff there. That's massive. Think how big that is. Like, yes, we know they do the MTK shows, but this is a world title fight. This is a big world title fight as well. It's going to be streamed for free for us to watch on IFL TV's platform. Incredible. That's incredible. What? Oscar Rivas versus Jennings rematch. This is Bryant Jennings for Bridgerweight title on June 18th in Montreal. It is Oscar Rivas. Okay. How crazy. Remember, the weight limit is from 200 to 224 pounds. It's weird because I spoke to Bryant Jennings, who said he was retiring. Like, he was done. No more. He said, and now all of a sudden, like, fighters just can't walk away. But yeah, I mean, good luck to them both. I'm very confused about this Bridgerweight bullshit, just because all the other sanctioning bodies haven't agreed to it yet, and all of a sudden we have Bridgerweight fights. What about the IBF? Haven't said they're doing anything. I don't believe the WBA and the WBO and all the other smaller belts, but we're moving ahead with it. Strange. Amanda Serrano got a win yesterday, didn't she? She knocks out Daniela Bermudez in the 9th round. Let's see what happens next with her. What is going on? Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Joshua Fury, by the way, because it looks like it's clearly holding up the announcement of Usyk Joyce as well. I don't know. We've got 20 days, I think it is now, to find a venue or whatever it is. 20 days. I think we're on 20 days. What can I tell you? Nothing. Nothing to tell you. Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna is ordered by the... Something else just came to my mind. But anyway, quickly. Ryan Garcia versus Javier Fortuna is ordered by the WBC. Good. That means there is some sort of proper path being created. It really should have been Javier Fortuna versus Devin Haney for the WBC title. But I'm not too mad about Ryan Garcia versus Fortuna. Good fight for Ryan as well. They're saying the purse bid will happen on April the 16th. What just came to my mind was what's going on with Gervonta Davis. Like, he's been arrested, right? Or has he been arrested for hit and run? Boy, yeah, so they're saying here, I don't know how much we believe this, but Gervonta Davis facing 7 years in prison. I'm not quite sure if it's going to come to that, if I'm honest with you. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Fucking hell, these young kids. Like, come and sort it out, please. Please, Gervonta, sort whatever you need to sort out. Amir Khan has literally, he's going to fight again, isn't he? I don't know if you guys saw the interview the other day, but Eddie Hearn was saying he spoke to Amir Khan and they're going to try and make his next fight for him. Whether that next fight be against Kell Brook or anyone else. Amir Khan hasn't retired. I thought Amir Khan was done. I don't see why Amir Khan can continue fighting. Well, I can see why, because of money, but he's won everything. He's going to be there for the taking now. If I'm Amir Khan, they've got to make sure they match him very carefully, because literally a no-name could smash him. A no-name. He's not that guy anymore. That's not just him. That's Brook as well, by the way. So they've got to be careful with the matchmaking. So that's why they should just put Khan versus Brook. Make it happen. It's lovely. All right. Any more stories before we pack up and go. Yeah, I think that is it. I think that is it. A bit here from Andy Ruiz saying, I'm ready to do whatever it takes to beat Chris Arreola. Stop the sell, man. I just said it already. Chris Arreola is coming off a loss against Kalnaki. That was in 2019. He's had 4 fights in 5 years. He's not even part-time. What's below part-time, people? I can't even think of a word below part-time. He's not even a part-time boxer. A part-time boxer fights once a year. He doesn't even do that. Doesn't even do that. He's retired a couple of times. This is horrendous. For Andy Ruiz to be fighting Chris Arreola, like Andy Ruiz is coming off a severe knockout loss. Andy Ruiz lost on points to AJ. He was just fat, he was overweight. For him to then do this as his comeback fight is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I don't know why it's taken so long as well. Don't say COVID because we've had fights. Like, why is it taking him so long? He hasn't fought since December 2019. Yeah. Oh, that was it. Was it that it? Was that? It was. It's a joke. It's a joke. I mean, anyway, see you tomorrow.